Oh boy, we have exciting news. This is probably the best news we possibly could have gotten for the Nintendo Switch 2 right now. Now, it's gonna sound bad at first. We're gonna have to get through the bad so you then get to the positive side of things, because a lot of good news has come out since all of these updates. But before we jump into that, I have to ask, please subscribe to the channel if y'all have not already. We have been uploading every day regarding the Nintendo Switch 2, sometimes double uploads like this video right here. So I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to hit 17,000 before I go to New York City next month for the Nintendo Switch 2 launch. So if we can pull that off, it's been great. If not, it's okay. I've been uploading every day, so I appreciate all the love and support that y'all have been getting. Let's get into this exciting update regarding Switch 2 physical games. So a lot has come out regarding the game key card information. It's looking like we are getting way more game key cards than what was expected. Now, there's been a lot of developers already talking about what games are going to be on game key cards and what isn't going to be on game key cards. And as of right now, over here in America, it looks like Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be fully on the cartridge, and Daemon X Machina will fully be on the cartridge. Now, looking at other countries, it looks like that Daemon X Machina it's going to be a game key card in other countries. For some reason here in America, it is the only version so far that we're seeing that's going to be fully on cartridge. Sega has recently come out with their upcoming games for Nintendo Switch 2. They've actually confirmed that Sonic Shadow Generations is coming to the Switch 2 on launch day. A brand new physical copy of the game is coming out, and they showed all of their upcoming releases for the Nintendo Switch 2, which indicated and showed that it is confirmed that all of their releases are going to be game key cards, which is very disappointing and actually, to me, very surprising. All the games that we've seen be game key cards so far is developers that had already utilized Switch 1 to not have the whole game on cartridge. There was a few things like Square Enix, for example. They've had their games fully be on cartridge before, but they've also released things that are not on cartridge. All the companies that we've seen so far utilize the game key card stuff has not surprised me. The one that has surprised me, which was Sega. Sega pretty much has had all of their titles fully on the Switch 1 cartridge, and it looks like that every game they got coming out is going to be a game key card. Which one of the games like Sonic, for example, really surprises me because I wouldn't have thought that took so much gigabytes, which it does. 24 gigabytes to be exact. That's how much space it is going to take with that game keycard. Which, with the information that I got told yesterday, I guess makes sense. Now, I don't know where this information came from, but I have someone that was telling me that Nintendo told them that it was only going to be two options when making physical games for your upcoming release. They're giving people an 8 gigabyte cartridge option or a 64 gigabyte cart option. That is a major difference compared to Switch 1 cartridges. You had options like a 32 gigabyte cartridge, for example. There was all sorts of options, but all these games are not going to be on an 8 gigabyte cartridge. That is pretty impossible, and these games don't need a 64 gigabyte cartridge. Games like Cyberpunk, that makes sense to have a 64 gigabyte cartridge because that's just a major game and it has the DLC, everything fully on cartridge. But something like Shadow Generations, Sonic Shadow Generations, does not need a 64 gigabyte cartridge, and 64 gigabyte cartridges are going to be ridiculously expensive. I know when The Witcher 3 came out for Nintendo Switch 1, that was a game that was fully on cartridge with the DLC, but CD Projekt Red talked about how, because of how expensive Switch cartridges are, they honestly didn't make much money off Witcher 3 coming to the Switch, which is probably going to be a similar thing for Cyberpunk, but Cyberpunk's probably going to sell way more with it being a launch title, so I do think CD Projekt Red's going to make some profit here. But this is a bad sign for other developers because a lot of these games don't need a 64 gigabyte cartridge. And I wanted to talk about some of the games that have been confirmed to be on this list as a game key card. There's a lot of questions if Hogwarts Legacy is going to be on cartridge or not, because PlayAsia made it sound like it is going to be on cartridge, but now it looks like it's going to be a game key card. So a lot of questions there. So that one's kind of uncertain as of right now. But as of right now, The list that we're seeing with the current titles that are coming out is going to be Suikoden 1 and 2. We have the Koei Tecmo game. We have Konami Shine something. I don't know what that is, honestly. We have Wild Hearts S. That's going to be a Game Geek card. We have Survival Kids. I think that's the big Konami game that they've been pushing. Bravely Default. Now, you know, this one always confused me why this was a Game Geek card, because I didn't think this was going to take much space. But now the fact that Nintendo's only giving these developers two options, 8 GB and 64 GB, kind of makes sense why that's a Game Key card, because I'm sure that this can't fit on 8 GB, probably more like a 16 GB cartridge. Or if developers could learn how to format their games, that might be something that they could do, but I know that takes a lot of time. We have another Capcom release that's going to be on there. Yakuza is a Game Key card, that's Sega. Puyo Puyo Tetris. Daemon X Machina is listed on here, but again, here in America, it looks like that's going to be a physical game. Radu is going to be a Game Key card. Sonic, Street Fighter, those type of titles. Now, you may be asking yourself, Max, why are you saying that there's good news here? What you just said is completely bad news. Like, this is the worst update that physical collectors could be getting right now. And I have exciting news that literally just came out 20 minutes ago as I'm recording this. Video Games Plus has made a response to Game Key cards. Now, if you're not aware what Video Games Plus is, they are a company that literally gets every restock possible. They apparently pay Nintendo, Square Enix, whoever the developer is, to reprint these games on all consoles. They are most known for their reprints of Switch games. They managed to reprint Xenoblade Torna Golden Country. That was one of the games that was super expensive for the Nintendo Switch, and out of nowhere, they somehow made some sort of deal with Nintendo where they were able to reprint the game. And they've been doing this for all sorts of things. They've been reprinting games with all of the updates on cartridge, all that stuff. And today, they made a response saying that they are going to be re-releasing these games as a reprint that are Game Key cards into games that are fully with cartridges. So a lot of these titles they are looking at and going to do everything they can to make cartridge versions of it to where the Game Key card aspect of it is thrown away. They've announced that this morning, and with the type of relationship that they have with all of these publishers, there's a very good chance that a majority of these games are going to be reprinted into an actual physical copy, which is super duper exciting. I know for me, I was pretty bummed when I was seeing all these Game Key cards, because when Sega got added to that list, I was like, wow, if Sega's doing this, almost every third-party developer is going to do this. And now with the information that it's 8 GB or 64 GB, it makes sense why we're seeing so many games that would normally be fully on cartridge on the Switch 1 be a Game Key card on Switch 2. Because 64 GB is very, very expensive, and they're just going to lose money at that point. I'm very curious to see what this means for titles like Limited Run. They're a company that always do releases physically, and I wonder how they're going to bypass that 8 GB, 64 GB. Is Video Game Plus, Limited Run, are they going to come together, help these developers to be able to compress the files to fit on an 8 GB cartridge? Are they somehow going to get special access to cartridges that are 16 GB, 32, stuff like that? I don't know. There's a lot of questions, but Video Game Plus has come out with this morning. They're very confident in being able to reprint a lot of these games with the whole game on there, updates and all of that, which is something that they've already done in the past, so they know what they're doing. Like, for example, on the Switch 1, we have a Konami release, Suikoden. That came out last month for the Nintendo Switch, and that is fully on cartridge from my understanding. So it's weird that they're re-releasing it for the Nintendo Switch 2 with no type of cartridge, any type of the game being there. It is just a full Game Key card, which very much confused me. And I think that that rumor of the 8 GB and 64 GB indicates that that is very true, seeing titles such as Sega doing something like this when they've had a history of putting all of their titles on cartridge. I'm very pumped about this. I guess the only downside of this is we're gonna have to wait to buy certain games physically, since if you're waiting for like Video Games Plus to come out with their reprint of the game having it all on cartridge, that might take a few months. This stuff takes a long time to produce. As y'all have seen with Limited Run, they are a company that do it by themselves. It's brutal out there trying to do it. And I'm sure Video Games Plus realize how much of a challenge this is, but they've done it in the past with reprints. So this is going to be a very exciting thing to see have happened, and I have very high hopes for them. I wouldn't expect many third-party games to be on I wouldn't expect many third-party games right now to be on the cartridge. It really seems like, for whatever reason, Nintendo's options for cartridges is going to force third-party developers and indie developers to not do a true physical release unless they team up with Video Games Plus or Limited Run, which Video Games Plus is probably going to be reaching out to people like Sega, Square, all that, and re-release these games. I just hope we don't have to wait forever, and I hope we don't see too many third-party developers doing this, but it looks like a good majority of games are going to be going this route other than first-party games, because Nintendo knows how to do the files perfect. I think Nintendo even helped CD Projekt Red with Witcher 3. It'd be nice to see Nintendo come on board and help these third-party developers get the game fully on cartridge without having to go the game keycard route if they're forcing developers with two options, which I'm just surprised they don't come out with a 32 gigabyte option or a 16 gigabyte option. That is very surprising from Nintendo and just such a big difference. But I definitely want to hear what you guys are having to say about this. I think this is a really cool update to see have happened. What game are you guys hoping Video Games Plus reprints to be fully on cartridge? I know for myself, I would like to see Hogwarts Legacy be fully on cartridge, which it sounds like there's a chance it already is. There's been so much misinformation going out with that, where PlayAsia kind of indicated that it was going to be on cartridge. Now it looks like it's not. And then it looks like different countries are going to have the game on cartridge. You know, Marvelous has indicated that it looks like a majority of their titles are going to be available fully on the game cartridge, not game key cards, which is exciting. I don't know. This is very interesting, very confusing, but at the end of the day, it looks like it's something we're not going to have to worry too much about. It's just we might have to wait a bit for these games to release as a full-on cartridge rather than game keycard. But let me know what you guys are wanting to see have happen from this in the comments down below. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, check out the Discord server, check out the Instagram, all that good stuff. Become a Monado Marine. $5 a month helps out the channel tremendously, as we're going to New York, so all the funds that we make off the YouTube channel this month is going straight towards that trip. And thank y'all as always, and I'll see y'all in the next one. We have a big video coming out tomorrow regarding Switch 2 pre-orders, so stay out for that, because crazy stories is going on with that we definitely need to address. And yeah, I uploaded that Mario video, so this video is kind of going to overshadow that. So if you guys want to give a chance to watch that, I'd appreciate it. If not, it's all good. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!